my people, and welcome back to day 5 of our drawing challenge. Today's challenge is a little bit difficult, and so I thought we'd change it up a bit. Today's challenge was to pick one of your favorite musical artists and draw a picture. So we're going to do something a little different. Instead of drawing portraits like we did yesterday, we're going to draw a banner with that artist's name in it. So who is your favorite musical artist?
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry. That'll be fun to stick in a banner. And then I'm going to honor Curly Fries behind the camera and do one of her favorite artists, Tom Waits. You can pick your favorite artist at home. Just make sure you know how to spell their name correctly before we get started. You can look it up, pause the video, and then come on back. So if you want to swing on around here, my camera lady, the first line we're going to make is the top curve of the banner. And I'm going to pull it from one side very gently all the way over to the other side of my paper. Doesn't have to be perfect, just needs to be a slight curved line. The next thing we're going to do is pull that line down, probably about the top length of my finger, on both sides. There we go. A little longer, a little shorter. Either way is fine. And then we're going to curve from the bottom points here all the way back over to where we started again. So this is starting that sort of three-dimensional look that the banner is curved and popping off the paper. Looking awesome, no cheese. I like that you did little dashes to kind of create that line for yourself, and now she's going back through and making it a little thicker. Now remember, this banner is supposed to be like a ribbon or a piece of cloth, so if it's not perfectly straight, that's okay. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to create a very small line here that curves down just a little underneath both sides. This is going to be where the fabric curves and goes backwards. And then I'm going to do another line here to show where it curves again. Follow me on this one, are you ready? And then after, I'll hold up for you. So I first created 2 little lines that curve back inside. Yep, you got this. And then I created 2 lines that curve the other direction, so they kind of curve, yep, looks great. And you got to get one on the other side too. Again, we can go back through and tidy this up later with markers. You're good. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's fabric, so some fabric is more floppy than others. You got this. Now, the last thing we're going to do is from this line that we created, we're going to pull down and away a good distance. Okay, same thing here. I'm going to pull down and outward towards the edge of my paper. And what we're going to do is come to the middle of the banner on the side and create one little line, another little line. Now these 2 lines are traveling the same direction, right? Awesome. And now I'm going to curve it the same way that I curved the bottom line, matching it up. Was that good water, Frankie? I'm so glad. Slurp, slurp, lap, lap. Oh, Quinn, this is looking so good. Okay, now no cheese. The last thing we have to do is add a triangle. So I'm going to pull up and bring it together. Yep, looks like a little mountain peak for the edge of our fabric banner. Sweet!
Beautiful.
Bootimus. All right, now, here comes the hard part. The banner itself can be wavy and flowy. It can curve in different directions. But making enough space where the words are kind of centered is going to be hard. So we've both got 2 words, right? So let's go ahead and figure out how many letters we need and how many spaces we need. So up at the top here, I'm going to write very gently, Tom Waits. Now, this helps me look and see how many letters I've got, right? I've got 1, 2, 3 in the first word, a big old space, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the second word. So altogether I have 8 letters, but I need a space. So I'm going to pretend like I have 9 letters because that space counts as 1. Sound good? How many do you have?
I think I'm spelling Perry wrong.
I think it's an E, not an A. We should have checked this before doing the video. Do your research. Here we go. Put an E in there. Sorry, Katy Perry, if you're watching this. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fixed. Okay. So I've got to have 9 spaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to create some little lines to section off 9 spaces. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Uh-oh. I've got 8 spaces. So what I'm going to do now is I've got to go back through and make these spaces a little smaller.
Oof.
I know, right?
Okay.
That was beautiful.
I fit
And
10.
you know, if you fit 10 and you need 10?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Yeah, you do. Oh, Quinn. Well, what kind of letters do you want to put in as I'm slowly making these smaller?
What's usually on a banner?
Well,
Bubble
you can do
letters.
print. You can do bubble letters. You could do block letters. You could do print letters with those little dots on it.
How do the print letters with dots?
Print letters with dots look like this.
Oh.
Up to you. All right. I've got my 9 spaces ready to go. And again, if first you don't succeed, we're just practicing. We're trying something new today, right? So I'm going to make what I consider American traditional letters today. And it's super fun. So the base of the letter is always going to be a block, right? And then the top is going to be a stick. And for curved letters, it's actually really fun. We're going to do one side is block, and then the inside is curved.
It's 3D.
There you go. I like how you added the shading on the far right-hand side. So to keep all of them becoming 3D, what do you have to do, No
I
Cheese?
have to shade on that side.
You have to shade on the right-hand side is the side you picked, right? That's awesome. Tom. Now, M is fun because we got to get one stick in here, and then the rest of the lettering is line, right? Got to leave my space for Mr. Waits. And now I'm going to do, again, W is awesome because it's just the upside down M, right? A's are super fun. I'm going to show you how to do an A. So at the top of these, you can also add little lines to help just give it some emphasis. And usually if there's a curved word, we add just a little stick in the center to give it that whimsy. Now for A, sorry, I got distracted. I'm going to pull down, create that stick, but in the middle of the A, we can kind of do this curved V thing to give it some emphasis.
It's a bird.
It's a bird in the middle of my A. You're welcome, Tom Waits. Have a bird. I put a bird on it. All right, my I. And again, in the middle here, we can kind of put these dashes if you want. I got another T happening over here. T for Tom Waits. Ooh, Quinn's got some 3D action happening. Now, S's are difficult because you want to leave enough space to do the 3-dimensional section on it. So I've added it to the top and the bottom. You can put a little dash there if you want to. My S is really, really big though. So I'm going to erase it and try one more time and show you one more time what that can look like. So I'm going to create a skinnier curve up top and make it a wider curve down below so that I've got space up top to add my stick, or excuse me, not my stick, my block portion. There we go. I feel like that fits better. Now, I'm going to erase my practice up top. I'm going to erase the number that I had, get rid of it. There we go. And now I can come on through and make these lines a little darker because I am now satisfied with what I've created. You can go back through with a Sharpie, and my students at Colfax Elementary love to use Sharpie, but I always tell them and they get so mad at me. You can't have a Sharpie until you finish drawing it. That way, if you have to erase anything, you can go back and do that. And then I need to go through and erase all these little lines that I put in between my letters so that the letters stand out on their own. Cleaning up anything I might have erased on accident. So right now I'm seeing that there's a big emphasis on Waits and Tom is a little tiny. So while No Cheese is finishing hers up, I'm probably gonna pull Tom a little closer, a little further over. Make my O just a little bit bigger. There we go. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. And my M just a little bigger. There we go. I feel like that does him some justice. Now I feel like I need to adjust my T. Making my T a little bigger. So the reason why I love working softly in pencil first is it makes it so much easier to erase those lines. You see how easy it was for me up top to erase, but down below I'm having a little bit of difficulty. This would be a time where you would go back through with marker so that your eye would be looking more at what you finalized in the dark ink and it wouldn't be looking at what you did in pencil. The last detail I'm going to add to my banner is I'm going to give some shadow and some shading, much like what No Cheese is doing over here with her lettering, but I'm going to put it on the underside of the banner where it comes around and folds under because there's going to be a shadow there. Right? And then I'm going to do a little bit of the same thing right here because this piece has a little bit of shading underneath it from the banner itself kind of folding over onto it. Right? So we're pretending that the light's coming from right up above us and moving over to cast those shadows. Alrighty. How you doing over there? Looking awesome. You can even add a little bit of depth behind by just making those soft lines.
He's so quiet.
To shade the bottom. It's because I'm not talking as much. I talk a lot during our videos.
Well, the main thing that I want to look at right now is the Tom and the Tom Waits.
It's popping because it's a little darker than the weights that I drew, right?
Yes.
So, my people, some connections that we can make for today. Today is snowy outside still, so I would say inside music time would be an awesome thing. If you have not heard any of Tom Waits' music, I would say you could go look him up. If you haven't heard of any Katy Perry music, I would say go look her up. If there's any fun musicians that you think we should know about that you want to share with the world, you can post them in a comment below and let us know about it. But today is going to be a inside art time, crafty time, music time. Some other fun connections you can make is looking up artists and who they've collaborated with, meaning who they've made songs with or who they've played music with before, and looking into new artists for the day. It's great to have our favorites, but something that's a favorite of mine is finding new things and trying out new things, and new music is one of my favorites. So with that, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We will be back a little bit later with some origami just for you. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. We'll see you later.